Okay. Frameworks of Python. Django is the most popular framework of Python. Among all the frameworks, we have got multiple frameworks for Python. Django, Flask, Pyramid, Bottle, TurboGate. All these are the frameworks of Python. Among all these, Django is the mostly used, widely used framework for Python. It's providing many flexible features as compared with the other frameworks. So it's mostly used, most commonly used. And also Flask also used, right? These are the two major frameworks. So as part of the course, we'll be discussing these two frameworks. Django is mostly, we'll be having more discussion on this Django framework. Flask also will be discussed. So before that, Python full stack developer. In the Python world, we have three positions. First one is backend developer. Backend developer, right? He is going to deal with the logic and flow of data. What to display as a response to the end user. Means whenever a request is given, whenever a request has to, the request has to be processed and need to give a response to that request. Who gives that? Backend developer. What to display as the response to the end user. If the user giving any request, giving response, and what has to be given as the response, what to display as the response, right? Taken care by the backend developer. So here, mainly four components are involved here as a backend developer. What language you choose? Means either Python, or if you're like Python full stack developer, Java full stack developer, the language you choose, the framework. In our case, Python, right? We use the framework and the database. MySQL database. Yes, we use the database, MySQL database, right? IDE, integrated development environment. Integrated development environment. Yes. PyCharm professional. PyCharm professional. The IDE we will be using is PyCharm professional and VS Code. First, I'll be discussing on this VS Code. Next, I'll be discussing on this PyCharm professional. PyCharm professional is a licensed one, right? For developing, especially for developing web applications. But there are two editions will be there in this PyCharm professional and PyCharm community. PyCharm community for Python coding, it's free, but professional is licensed for web development. And VS Code, we can work freely with that VS Code, right? I'll show you how to work with this PyCharm professional. Okay, even without license. Okay, fine. Front-end developer, back-end developer displaying the response, right, to the user whenever he gives any request. Front-end developer, right? Yes, front-end developer. Responsible how data appears to the users. Means how good the data is presented on the web page. Generally, front-end technologies or front-end developer, right? They are responsible how good the data is presented on the web page. Any organization, right? We talk if they have got some products, if it is a products, how good you present your products on the web page. If it is a college or organization, right? How good you present about your college and its courses. If it is an institute, about the courses, how they highlight, right? How good you are going to present it on the web page. Means with the different font, colors, images, tables, all this, right? Yes. Yeah. Means front-end developers, front-end technologies will be responsible for these things. Like we use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, right? For this purpose, for presenting the data on the web page. HTML for presenting your data on the web page. for presenting your data on the web page. CSS, adding some different types of styles to the HTML, adding different types of styles. And Bootstrap, there are already some predefined styles. Directly bring it into your application, you use it. JavaScript for adding some dynamic nature to the HTML pages. So using this, how would we present the data on the web page? HTML generally static. HTML all static responses. HTML along with the JavaScript, right? Dynamic response. For example, for displaying any data, good morning, static response. Displaying the current date and time. Today, if you see, it will print today's date and time. After 10 days, you see, after 10 days, whatever the current date and time, that is going to be displayed. That is what? Dynamic response. Every day, if you are seeing the web page, if you see the same data, same content, that is what? Static. Every day, if you open any web page, the same data you are seeing always means static. But every day open, if you see different, it is changing, it is getting modified by, that is like the date and time. That is what? Dynamic response. If response is not varied from time to time, we call it as static response. If response is not varied, generally, if you see any bank homepage of any bank, if you see, today if you see, tomorrow if you see, after 10 days if you see, it will be same, right? Homepage of any bank, if you observe. Even if 1 month, after 1 month also, if you see that the homepage will be same, similar. Login page of Facebook. Today, if you see the login page of the Facebook, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, after 1 month, it will be same, right? That is what? Static. Dynamic response means Gmail inbox. Today, you see some 10 messages. Tomorrow, it will go to 100 messages. Day after tomorrow, 200 messages. You will see different. You will see different messages. Bank page of SBI also. If you open any, if you enter into that SBI, the transactions. Today you will see some 5 transactions. Tomorrow some different 10 transactions you made. Every day different transactions will be seen. You won't see the same page again and again, right? Right. That is what a dynamic. So here, backend developer for giving responses, front-end developer for displaying your data on the web page. So if you talk about the full stack developer, is going to bridge the gap between these two positions. Full stack developer bridge the gap between the above two positions, right? Yes. He needs to have the knowledge of both front end and back end. So as a full stack developer, need to have the knowledge of both front end and back end tools.
Sir, can you explain this dynamic response once again, please? This Gmail inbox.
See, if you talk Gmail inbox, if you talk, for example, Facebook page, you say, today you open the Facebook, you will see different posts. Tomorrow, if you open that Facebook post, do you see the same thing?
No.
You will get different posts.
Yeah.
If you talk day after tomorrow, you open different posts, you will be available in that. If you talk about static response, right? Facebook login page you open, will it be changing the design of that
No.
Facebook login page? The
No, sir.
login page. Tomorrow, if you see, day after tomorrow, if you see, for example, Gmail login page you open. From last 1 month, whenever you are opening logging, the same page only you are seeing, or the different every day? Hello? Same page, right?
For G.
No
Yeah.
change. No, the same login. I'm talking about login page. Initially,
Okay.
when you're
Yeah.
logging, it will be same. It's
Yeah.
static. Means there are some pages which keeps on changing, right? That is dynamic response.
Okay.
I'm talking
Okay,
about the
sir.
web pages, right? Okay. Dynamic response. Okay. Static response. Using HTML, you will be presenting the data. It will be static only. For example, you have written HTML code, you execute it. Today, if you execute the same response, means HTML page, you have presented some table on your web page. Today, if you execute and check the same output, tomorrow also it will be the same, day after tomorrow also the same thing, but there is no dynamism in that. Yes. So
Got it, sir.
as a full stack developer, you need to have the knowledge about both the front end technologies and the back end technologies, right? Back end means what are the back end? You need to have knowledge on Python. First thing, you need to have the knowledge on the Django framework. At least one framework you need to have the knowledge. That is mostly used is the Django today. You need to have the knowledge about one database and one IDE. And if I talk about full stack, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Full stack web development. It is a process of developing both front end as well as back end update. It is a process of developing both front end as well as back end web application. So, as a full stack developer, you are going to work with both front end and back end. So here we are going to follow MVT architecture. Model view template. Later I discuss about that architecture after discussing some couple of examples. So for example, MVT. MVT. T means templates. So using this, a web page is there. A web page is there. You have got a registration page. Registration form is there. Your name, your age, and your details, all your details, right? Finally, submit a button. You enter a lot of details, right? In the registration form, you will enter. View means, okay, templates means, okay, using this HTML, CSS, JavaScript, images, all these things, right? View, model, view, Python, models, database. So this is your database. If you submit this data, if you submit this data, the data has to be stored within the database. The data should be stored in database as one record. As one record, like name, age, qualification, all these things, right? One record. Again, one more person, again he has entered the registration form, one more he has submitted, again one more record. Every time once, every time one. So every time one record will be generated. Every time one record is going to be generated. Every time one person submitting it, every time. But it is a how this data is going to be stored within the database. Means Python is going to take the data whenever you submit, right? Python in the middle. So it is going to take the data and store it within this database. Python is going to store it. Tomorrow, there is one more in the web page. Yes. You want to retrieve some data. I want only those, for example, some banking data. I want those customers whose balance is about 2 lakhs, whose balance is about 2 lakhs or about 10 lakhs. Those customers whose balance is about 10 lakhs. So Python retrieves data from this database and displays on this web page. Python retrieves data from this database and displays on the web page. What displaying on the web page while displaying on the web page, right? Templates. While displaying on the web page, templates means generally Python you should have seen whenever you execute a Python code, black and white format. The output will be in black and white format. Means white background, black color font. But I doesn't want like that. I want in different colors. If you want from tabular structure by using different, so response also you can display with the different colors, fonts, images, or even if you talk like tables. So with the help of these templates, you will display that on the web page. So this interaction between these models like databases, views like Python, templates means this web page. Between this web page, database, and this Python, how the Python, mainly here is the Python, the business logic implementation, everything will done within this Python, right? And whatever the data. So we have got a, Python has got a database. Talk about this, Python has got a database called SQLite3 default database. Default database SQLite3, it's a database given, right? But for lightweight, but for huge transactions, for huge transactions, right? Go with we can also connect with MySQL database, Oracle database. We can connect with these things. MySQL database, Oracle databases. You can connect. How to connect with those MySQL, Oracle, right? So it's not very simple, right? To connect with this MySQL, Oracle databases. I'll be discussing about it. So as a Python full stack developer, you need to have the knowledge about developing the web page and also Python, this database and framework. Roles and responsibilities of full stack developer. Roles and responsibilities of a full stack developing and managing web applications, working with the databases. You should have knowledge on these databases, working with the templates, front-end technologies, working with the back-end technologies, Python, DJANGO, these things, working with the servers, web servers, and logical and problem solving skills. Yes. So whenever here, okay, these are the things, responsibilities of a Python full stack developer, like what I said, MVT, models, views, templates. You need to have the knowledge about these databases, templates, this front end and this back end technologies, along with web servers, problem solving skills. We'll be developing web applications here, web applications. So request response architecture, we will follow the request response. Any request is given, response has to be provided. So I'll come back to that architectural part, but some terminologies like www, internet, web page, website, web application, web browser, web server, that we'll be using, right? So www. So whatever, not like Python, how you execute Python, right? Run module, or how you execute here, everything. We require one browser. Web browser is required. We'll be executing, means what all that application, right? Everything. So we'll provide the URL on the web browser. You'll open a web browser like Chrome browser, Mozilla, Firefox, Internet Explorer, right? Edge, Any web browser will take, and on that will provide that URL. Based on that URL, it is going to get processed. So first, World Wide Web, www, it is a system of internet servers that supports hyperlink documents. These documents are called as web pages. So system of internet servers that supports hyperlink documents. These documents we call it as home pages. The starting point in a document is called known as home page. The starting point in a document is known as home page. Web pages generally, if you talk about any web page, they're identified by URL. They're identified by a URL. Uniform Resource Locator. For example, www.gmail.com, identified by URL. Here, HTTP we call it as a protocol. Hypertext Transfer Protocol, HTTP. The protocol we use for transferring data. This is the URL, right? Internet, it is a huge network of network. That is, www is a service of internet, World Wide Web. Web page means a document which is web page, a document which is written in HTML, which brings together all the text, images, audio, video, hyperlinks, etc. all into one place, etc. all into one place. Website, web page is different, website is different. Collection of web pages we call it as website. Collection of web pages. See, home page will be there, login page will be there, many pages will be there, right? Admin page. So website, it is a group of web pages only, interlinked web pages. Interlinked web pages, right? Yes. It is a group of interlinked web pages which has a single domain name. For any website, single domain name, right? Web application. We'll be developing these web applications. And applications which runs on a web server. An application which provides service over the web. Web browser means the software that is used for browsing. Chrome browser, Firefox, Edge, right? Yes. Web server, the software that provides the users with the required documents through web browser. And finally, like framework, web framework. DJANGO is a framework. What do you mean by framework? It is a code library which helps to build flexible web application. So it is a code library which helps to build flexible web application, right? For example, code library means even if we observe maximum 30 to 40% of the code is already available. We no need to perform any, no need to write the code. If you want what all that .py files required, what are the .py files required for your application, everything are available, right? For example, what are the Python files required, the other files required, everything will be, okay, check it. For example, I'm opening this PyCharm. It's a professional edition, right? I'm opening this PyCharm, right? Yes. One second. Hmm. If you want to do a new, see already these are the existing project. If you want to open any project, you can select it. Already you developed this. If you want to open any of this, you can open. Otherwise, new project, check. New project. I'm clicking this new project, right? So here it is asked. At the left side, you can see it is asking you with which framework you want to go. Django you want, Flask you want, Pyramid you want, or Web2, which one you want, or Angular JS or any other things, right? React JS or what? I want to go with Django. So here it is asking the location where you want to save. In the C drive, Django apps. Okay, now here Django project 2 or Django project 1. Django project 1. This is the name of your project. The name you can specify with this. Now, by default, already remember that if you want to work with Django, Python has to be already installed. Python has to be already installed and Python has to be recognized from your system. Installing Python means if at the bottom search panel, see that Python is recognized or not. If you are installing Python, I have said before installing, um, you'll be selecting one checkbox, add Python to path, right? Then the Python will be added to the path variable of OS. Means Python will be recognized from anywhere. If you're not selecting the checkbox, add Python to path, then your Python won't be recognized. You need to set the things manually, environment settings. So if you see whether your Python is recognized from anywhere from your system, in the bottom search panel, type CMD, say enter, just type Python, say enter, right? Yes. Just say Python. Python version has to be displayed like this. Python interpreter should be opened like this. Any valid Python statements you can type in, check, right? Should work. Now it's working, right? So Python is recognized here. It is showing you the Python version. Whenever you say Python, for some of you, right, you'll be getting Python is not recognized as an internal or external command. In such case, Django also it cannot work. Tomorrow I'll be showing you the environment setup. In that, I'll also show you that Python installation for takes hardly 2 minutes to install Python, downloading and installing Python. Right. Okay. By default, right? As per your project guidelines, they'll be providing which version to be used, what everything they'll be get. So depending upon that, you can select that version, right? So here Python by default, it takes one Python version. In my system, multiple versions of Python are available, right? So Python 3.8 available, 3.9 available, 3.10, 3.11, 3.12, 3.13, whichever version you want. For example, if they ask to work with 3.11, select the 3.11, 3.12, 3.13. You won't see much differences between these versions in any three version means, but they ask specifically use this version, select it. Otherwise, anything by default, Python will select one version from that. So deselecting Python. The C drive, your Python is available. So and so folder, that exe file is available. Here you can see more settings. Application name. So compulsory need to provide. Project name you have given up. Django project 1. Application name, some demo application, right? Create. That's it. Is going to create that. Creates a virtual environment. Creates virtual environment. Creating virtual environment in the sense. Observe. Creating virtual environment means another copy of Python is going to be. There's one more copy of Python is going to get installed. Your original copy, it is not going to disturb, which you have installed in your Windows. Another copy is going to be installed, right? Ensuring Django, it is installing Django now. Ensuring Django is installed. Installing Django, automatically it install. You no need to do all those things. You don't need to install Python, you don't need to install Django. Automatically it is going to perform. And it is going to create the project structure. It is going to generate the project structure. Creating application creates project to folder. Can you see at the left side? Okay. So at the left side, you can see the project name, Django project. So if you observe here, Django project, outer project folder will be there, inner project folder will be there. To see here, whenever you minimize this is your project folder. This is your project folder. This is in the project folder. Another project folder you see. Inner project folder, inner project folder, and your application folder, demo application. Your virtual environment means where your Python, you can see here virtually. All this Python scripts. In this, you can see all this clip. Okay. This project inner project folder automatically what all that Python files required for your project. One second. Okay. Observe here, Django project. If you open this Django project, you can see many .py files automatically created. Many .py files automatically created. urls.py, wsgi.py, settings.py, asj.py, right? Settings.py, urls.py, all this right .py, right? See, in the settings.py, if you open the settings.py, yes, within the settings.py, this is your Python code. .py, this is your Python code. I didn't write this. I didn't write these things. Automatically it is generated, right? This is the Python code. Can you see at the right side? You can see all this code. For example, any configuration settings, anything if you want to do, you will just modify it. Whatever name you, the names will be modified. Only that. For example, if you talk about, I doesn't want with this by default SQL3 database. This is the default database of Python. I doesn't want this. I doesn't want this database. I want to take Oracle or MySQL. Just give this MySQL. That's it. Now connecting with the MySQL database. Connecting with the MySQL database. Observe here. Internal. Okay, just give the username, password. That's it. Username, password. User and password. That's it. Very simple to connect. Even the module also not required. If I want to connect with MySQL, just give this MySQL user and password. Means connecting with the MySQL database. Now data will be stored in MySQL. If you want Oracle, give Oracle, username and password of Oracle. Yes. Any other modifications, changes, everything you will do in the settings. In the urls.py means you just for any web page, one URL, it is identified with the URL, gmail.com, facebook.com. In this way, URLs will be there, right? In this urls.py, you will be specifying the URLs. So in this way, the .py files will be automatic. We will be discussing about each and every .py file. And if you talk about this demo application also, within this demo application also, you will see admin.py, models.py, test.py, views.py. This views.py is the main where you write the business logic implementation. Models.py, anything related to database tables creation. So in this admin.py, so all this we will be discussing, but all these are automatically generated. I didn't create all these things, right? Okay. So that is what, one second. Web frameworks, it provides that library which helps to build flexible web applications. So I said MVT architecture, model, database, view, Python functional view or class view. So either we'll be using Python functions or Python classes, templates like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. One second. Okay. IDs, PyCharm Professional and VS Code, right? Yes. The IDs of this PyCharm Professional and VS Code, that what we'll be discussing. Now coming to this, one second. DJANGO is a web development framework for Python, which offers a fast and effective website development. So here it's a framework. I said it's a framework of Python. It is going to offer effective website development, web development, right? So here mainly we will be building and maintaining quality web applications using the Django framework. Mainly we'll be building web application. That too at a rapid speed. At a rapid speed, you can develop a web application. That too with very less coding as compared with that other languages, right? If you talk like Java or other programming languages, you see a lot of coding involved. But here, very less coding, simple syntaxes at a rapid speed, you can develop web application. If you talk about the advantages and features, right? First thing is it's very easy to set up. It is very easy to set up, right? Just now I said, if you are using this PyCharm, automatically Django is installed. Just Python installation is enough. Automate once you open this IDE, the Django will be automatically installed, and the project structure, application structure will be automatically created. Okay. A ready-to-use interface for administrative activities. Generally, if you see, we'll write some SQL statements if you want to insert one employee or if you want to delete an employee. But here we'll be having that flexible feature options like you'll be seeing, if you see, once you open plus option for inserting an employee, minus option for removing. In this way, this kind of plus minus for adding or removing. So this kind of options means we're ready to use user interface for administrative activities, especially for adding, removing, for any other operations, right? If you want to run, if you want to execute, like play button, the buttons will be available. Like pause button, if you want to just stop the server, pause button. If you want to run the server, play button. In that way, you can use that admin related ready to use user interface. Can build all types of systems, can build all types of systems. Powerful URL system. Okay. Provides end-to-end application testing. and it has got built-in authentication system. You'll be seeing all these things, right, in the coming sessions. Built-in authentication system. Okay, just now I was talking about the automatic admin interface for adding, editing, deleting, for all this, right? If you want to modify any particular record, there'll be a checkbox beside it. Which record you want to modify, that checkbox you need to select. So, okay, you are going, see, for every record, there'll be one checkbox at the front of it. You need to select that, okay, I want to modify the third record. Before the third record, one checkbox available, click it, and you want to modify what you want to modify. You can modify it. I already said very less code is involved. It's not repeated. Fast development, yes. It has its own database, SQLite 3. We talk about, okay, just I'll open Google right now. I'll check this. Applications using DJANGO. Just I'm typing here applications using DJANGO. Yes. Instagram, check this. Instagram, Spotify, Pinterest. 1 second. Not only this. List of best Django applications includes Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, Mozilla, NASA, Dropbox. Yes. If you see what are the various applications that are built using Django, YouTube is using Django, Dropbox, Mozilla. You see the top 10 Django apps examples. Okay. Companies are this companies using Django, YouTube using Django, Instagram is using Google, NASA, Pinterest, Mozilla, Discovery Channel, Bitbucket, Discuss, PBS, Public Broadcasting Service, National Geographic, all this they are using Django. Generally in Java, we follow MVC architecture, Model View Controller. Model View, in Java, we follow MVC, Model View Controller architecture. In Python, we follow MVT, Model View Template. Model View Template architecture, right? Just before I was talking, right? Models, databases, views means Python, templates like HTML, CSS, JavaScript using we'll create templates. So steps in application creation that I'll be discussing separately. Yes. So here, first environment setup. Environment setup. So everyone, so it's a hands-on batch. It's a hands-on batch. So where you should do parallelly along with me, the application development step by step. For example, application 1. Yes, you do along with me parallelly. You'll be typing along with me. You'll be executing so that you'll be seeing the process, how it is happening, how to create a project folder, how to create an application folder, how to start the server, and how to give the request, everything. If you do like first 1, 2 applications, it will be something new to you. But later, from the third application, everything you will be got habituated to that. You'll be getting familiar with that, right? With all these applications creations, project creation, starting server, giving request, and working with templates, models, databases, right? So I said around 15 plus applications will be developing as part of this course. So application 1, while developing this application 1, right? So you'll be doing along with me. If you get any error, rectifying that error also is important, right? Why you got that error, where the error will be made. So if anyone getting the error and able to resolve, you will be sharing the screen to me. Share screen option will be there where you can rectify the error, right? Fine. So that is, and for the prerequisites for this So Python has to be installed. Python has to be installed. So once again, I'll show you once how to download and install Python. But ID is where we write the code, right? So ID is. So first I'll show you on VS Code. First I'll show you on VS Code. Later I'll show you on PyCharm Professional. So tomorrow my discussion will be like VS Code. We'll be discussing with this. So if you want to download and install VS Code, everyone just open your Chrome browser. Open your Chrome browser right. Mhm. Uh, just type code.visualstudio.com. Everyone just code.visualstudio.com. You can open this. Download for Windows. Download for Windows. Download it. Okay, you can download this and you can install it. Normal installation, everyone. Normal installation only. Next. I want a shortcut on your desktop. That's the only thing. Everyone try to download and install this VS Code. Make your Visual Studio Code ready, right? There is one. And we'll see application creation. Just we'll see sample application creation tomorrow after working with VS Code and application creation. The steps or various steps involved. Various steps involved in this application creations. All are single line steps. So here we need to create a virtual environment. Creating a virtual environment without disturbing the Python, which is already installed in our system. I'll create a virtual environment. Activating the virtual environment. We need to activate the virtual environment. Next will be creating or starting a project. See, this is the command. This is the command, right? How we DJANGO-admin start project. Whatever name, project name you want to give, you can provide it. DJANGO-admin start project. Any name you can. This is the command for creating your project folder. Starting or creating an application. If you want to create an application folder, Python manage.py start application name. So this is for creating a project. This creating an application. This command, the same command. Only this name you need to give for project. Here you need to give application name. So these two are creating project and application. Within the project folder, some .py files will be created. Within this application folder also, some .py files are going to be created. And later, compulsorily, see here, in adding the application name to compulsory, whatever application name we need to add to settings.py. So here within this this application folder, this is project folder. Within the project folder, settings.py is there. Settings.py, within the settings.py, you will be seeing one option, install apps. Any application, if you are creating an application, right, we need to add here. For example, demo app is my application name. Compulsory, you need to add your application to this install apps within the settings.py. Defining URLs for your project means generally within the urls.py file, you will be specifying the URL, right? Whatever URL you want to provide on the web page. So generally, if you say gmail.com, that web page is going to, in the same way, you can provide your own URL, right? And writing the business logic within the views.py. There's one more file called views.py is available. Within that, you will be writing some Python code. You will migrate, start the server, and give the request in the browser. These things we'll be discussing, right? But these are the steps involved. 10 steps. 10 steps are involved. We'll be discussing practically one by one how to create this virtual environment. You can do parallel along with me. Yes, so that if any errors, means environment setup, right, make the things ready, right? So one is Python, one is VS Code. So Python installation, right? If you have already installed Python, if it is recognized, that is fine. Yes. This whatever we perform, right? The step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. I'll be providing this clear notes stepwise, right? Even by seeing that you can clearly understand steps wise. So you can see 1 second. Okay. If you talk about the previous batches, Django notes, any applications creations, right? Yes. So step 1, activate virtual and how to do that. Step 2, creating a project, how to do that. Step 3, creating or starting an application. Step 4, adding the application to that. Step 5, defining the URLs. Step 6, here everything we are not writing the code. Already you will just modify the existing code. Go to views.py, migrate, run server, give the request stepwise, right? You will be getting it. Okay. So from tomorrow we'll be start with the actual things. So it is nothing theoretical to say anything, right? Everything is practical oriented. So here now application development. First, some simple applications will be developing so that you will get the idea, right? Where we won't be involved any Python coding. So later we'll be discussing that with some complex applications will be going, right? So environment setup, how to create that virtual environment. Even that if anyone, if it doesn't have that Python install, just I'll say within 2 minutes, 5 minutes how to install it. Try to just install this VS code, right? That's the only thing. For tomorrow's session, tomorrow you can develop along with me the first application, right? Looks very simple. Hardly it takes 5 minutes to 10 minutes to develop an application in Python, right? How much simple. That's the reason at a rapid speed you can develop web applications. So you can see the course content, right? In the chart, there is already given in the chart, you can see the course content for this Django. And also I said, along with the Django framework, along with the Django is the most FLASK framework also I'll be discussing. FLASK is also one more framework of Python. So you'll be getting knowledge on this FLASK also, apart from this Django, right? Any queries from your side, anyone? Right. So from tomorrow, we'll be starting with the practical part. So I doesn't want to discuss a lot of theory, what it is, defining the definitions, right? Directly, we'll go with the practical.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, when we get these videos,
So videos, right? Okay. So videos you'll be getting to your Google Drive. So whenever the class completes, right? For example, class completes at 10:30. After 2 hours, you'll be getting by today by 1 p.m. you'll be getting that. Means daily, once you got enrolled, right? If you're already enrolled, so by 1 p.m. you can see in your Google Drive. And as for today and tomorrow, the first 2 days it will be kept. You will be getting the link of it. Today and tomorrow, you will be getting the link of it. You can just check your mail by 1 o'clock today.
okay, sir.
In
Thank you.
your mail, you will get one link. You will get a link. Click that link. YouTube link you will be getting for today's class. The video link for today and tomorrow. Just you will be getting the video through YouTube access. But from next week onwards, daily, to your Google Drive, a video will be added. So by whenever the class completes by 1 p.m. on the same day, Today by 10 or 10:30 when the class completes, within 2 or 2.5 hours, you'll be getting the video to your Google Drive. You can just watch. Even if you are absent to the 1 hour session or couple of sessions, as it is Saturdays and Sundays, weekends, right? You can go through that and attend the next session. All the sessions will be interactive sessions. I want the sessions to be more interactive. During the session, any query immediately you will be asking. For the first couple of examples, I'll be showing, but from the third application onwards, you will be saying one by one step. Step one, what is step one? What is step two? Step three? Step four? Step five? For the initial applications, you will be seeing less number of steps, but once we enter into that deep into that, we'll be seeing more number of steps. So that is what interactive and hands-on, right? So you'll be doing along with me and just will be responding, right? Yes. Fine. In developing these applications. So just once again, I'm saying watching the whatever watching the sessions won't work. So if you are doing along with me, you will come to know, right? Otherwise, you can do it later also, not a problem. Right? Yeah, someone was asking a query.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, I gave interview, Python interview. So the interviewer asked me about the Flask. What is the get and post method in Flask?
Yes, yes. There are two methods, get method and post methods are there, right?
Mhm.
They'll ask mainly they'll be asking which method is most reliable and which method means get method right. Okay, so I'll be discussing about
Yes.
get
Mm.
and post, differences between get and post, when to go
Okay.
get, when to go for post, right? Mean in the get, it is not secured. Means whatever details you are entering, your login, password, everything. If you are entering any details, will be appeared on the web page URL, right? So
Mhm.
post is more reliable, actually, but still the differences between this get method, post method, when to go for what, I'll be discussing.
Okay. And sir, one more question. So in Flask, which authentication we are using means for the third party URL?
Yeah, I'll be discussing that. We have got many methods for that.
Okay. Sir, can you provide the interviews question for the DJANGO and the Flask?
Yes,
Means
yes, I'll be providing. And
okay, okay.
see that you'll be getting the videos, soft copy of these notes. The WhatsApp group will be created. If any errors, you can take the snap and post in the WhatsApp group. Any you're creating any web application, right? If you got any
Mhm.
error, you can take the snap and post it. So WhatsApp group for direct interaction with me. So and assignments and tasks to work with, so that you can build your own applications, and also interview questions, right, and resumes.
Okay. Okay, sir.
So
Thank you.
yes. So by developing these applications, by doing this hands-on, right, you will be getting great exposure to this the Django framework. So directly you can attend the interviews, because after doing this many applications, directly you will come to know what you are performing, right? It's not a theoretical subject, not to no need to just after this course is complete, directly you can go for that interview, right? It is not something you need to revise something. It's not anything, no definitions. You want to define anything, what you did, that you need to define it. What are views? What is models? What are templates? Everything we'll be discussing that. First, I'll be discussing with uh, views. First, I'll go with views. Next, I go with templates. Last, I'll come with models. MVT architecture, right? First, I'll be discussing about views, later templates, next models, next all these three combinedly, right? Yes. Okay, fine. Any other queries, right? So,
Sir, I have one query. Like our batch also will be going in this new batch, joined with this new batch, or
see, 1 second, 1 second. So, tomorrow I'll just show you one application creations environment setup for this Django. Next week, right? Next week onwards, See this 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock, 9 to 10:30 or like that, right? 9 to 10:30. DJANGO, daily, DJANGO. Oh, sorry. Okay, 8 to 9, right? People like HTML, this UI technologies, you'll be having it. 8 to 9, you will have a session on this. People who didn't attend UI, who didn't attend that UI technologies like HTML, CSS, they'll be. Who have already attended, directly you can attend at 9 to 10. Who have already completed that UI, right? Directly they can attend for this Django app. If anyone who didn't attend that HTML, CSS, you'll be having the sessions, right? From next week onwards, 8 to 9, right? Fine.
Got it.
Okay, fine. So, okay, from tomorrow, just we'll go application creations. So if I'm done with your queries, I will sign off. It's just an introductory session. So I doesn't want to discuss more today. Everything is practical. Once again, I'm saying everything is practical. Don't expect any theory, right? Okay.
So tomorrow the class is at 9:30. 9
No,
o'clock, is it?
no.
9.
This week, tomorrow we'll have it at 8:30. Next week onwards, that whatever I said, right? 8 to 9, 9 to 10. Right?
Okay, so tomorrow again the same demo link.
So, tomorrow you can follow the same demo link. Tomorrow the
Okay.
same demo link, right? But next week the link will be changing. You are supposed to get enrolled. For that enroll one again, you will be getting a link to your mails separately for the next week classes. You will be getting okay, two links. Two links you will be getting into your mails if you got enrolled. Means those who two links, one for that UI, one for this Django. Right? Fine.
Okay.
Fine. I'm stopping here. You can check that course content, right? Which is kept in the chart, right?